Hoops World.
We played that I want to kill everything in front of me, so
670.
I hit the streets just to get a bag. I pack, he got toe tagged. I punched the nigga for shorty. I'm John Woo with the 40. You not gang nor the homie. Don't bro me, no, you don't know me. Gang shit, members only. You wasn't there, I was lonely. You wasn't there, I was lonely. Dog nice blicky on me. I was just.
Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy AJ. I'm here with Cypher and Rage. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at HoopsWorld0. So we got two great conference finals. Today we're just gonna break down the Pacers and the Knicks conference finals preview. I'm gonna read a little bit. Shout out to SNY. It says here, New York went 2-1 against Indiana during the regular season, with the two teams swapping blowouts. Although we can't overly rely on these games to predict postseason results, there are insights to glean on. The Knicks need to win this series on defense. In all three games against the Pacers, they scored above 120 points and have some glaring advantages on the offensive end, but it's a matter of how much they can slow the Pacers on the other end. Tyrese Haliburton is averaging 17.5 points, 9.3 assists this postseason. For the matchup for him is Mikal Bridges, and then we got to think about the who's guarding Jalen Brunson matchup and Karl-Anthony Towns. So Pacers Knicks, man, I really think it's going to come down to, can the Knicks kind of stop this high-powered offense? Because I just think stats-wise and just eye test-wise, the Pacers offense has been number one in this postseason. So let me ask you guys, like, what do you think the Knicks could do to the Pacers? Or do they have, I guess, could you say, do they have the play? Because the Knicks only go 7 deep, and the Pacers can go, what, 10 deep at least? 8 to 10 deep?
Yeah, like 8 to 10 for sure.
So do you guys think that the Knicks have enough to keep up with this high-powered offense?
I think at least with the Knicks, they do have the talent defensively to at least be able to, put up a better fight than I think even like the Cavs, because it's like ultimately like they do have they have way better wing defenders than the Cavs do. Mm-hmm. I just think ultimately when it comes down to it with the Knicks, like you literally gonna have to be able to you're gonna be able to have to not have Mitchell Robinson be your second best player in the series. Like he was killing, and then offensively, like you just had like a lot of like you had a lot of Jalen Brunson, like you had like balanced offensive, like you had solid like offensive scoring, but like no one was like, what I'm saying, no one really stuck out outside of Jalen Brunson. Like there was no offensive scorers that were really there, and I think that defensively, like you have OG, you have Mikal, you have guys to at least compete with the Pacers size wise. And that was something, and that's something that not the Cavs that they really couldn't compete with, because like Strus is not that level of defender like OG is, like, you know what I mean? Like you don't have like the Pacers have or the Knicks have better guys to throw on, like, you know what I'm saying? Like they have better guys to throw than the Cavs do.
Exactly.
In terms of like a on-ball defender.
Yeah, because you can have OG guard Pascal. And I would say this year, the difference between the Knicks team last year and this year, the Knicks team this year is a lot bigger. I think they had like Dante on the wing. Mitch was hurt. And I think OG was hurt on that series last year. So it's like, now that everybody's back, we refresh this series. They have the size, because they can go double big. And what are you going to do if they go double big if you have Pascal and Miles Turner? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think OG's definitely going to be on Pascal. That's clear. And then that defense, the Mikal on Hallie, it's interesting to see who wins that matchup. I think for Jalen Brunson, you got to put maybe Nembhard and Nesmith are both great defenders, but I think you want to put Nesmith on Brunson, because I just think he's just the more athletic, longer wing, stronger type guy on the perimeter to like deal with Brunson driving angles. And I think you want Nembhard to be freed up to be the offensive creator that he is, because playoff Nembhard is a thing. And I'll let Saif go, but playoff Nembhard is a thing. So you want him to have the energy to cook if I'm the Pacers, right? Yes, Saif.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's hard to tell. Like, I didn't think either of these teams would make it this far. Yeah. On paper, the Knicks have a lot more talent. Mm-hmm. They have more size. They have more on-ball creation. They have more scoring. They have theoretically better defenders than OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges.
Yeah.
But this Pacers team, I mean, look, they are a true unit. Like their ability to move in space, pace in space. That's why they're called the Pacers. And I don't know. That's where their advantage is. If they were to have an advantage, make it a fast series. Try to make the Knicks run and try to wear them down because the depth of Indiana. So the Knicks really only have 7 playable guys.
Yes.
Whereas the Pacers, they go like 9, 10 deep.
10.
Like they have a ton of depth
off
here.
the bench. Benedict Mathurin coming. You got a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
You even throw Jarris Walker in there for some possessions. Like you got some guys in there.
Their scoring is interesting because the range, like Pascal Siakam is their leading scorer in this playoffs, 18.8 points, and then between him and then going all the way down to like Mathurin, who's averaging 10.9 points. Like they have 6 guys averaging in double figures. Now the Knicks also have 5 guys averaging in double figures, all their starters. But the range is completely insane. Like their leading scorer is Brunson. He's averaging like 28.8 points per game. Hart is averaging 13.3. And Cat is averaging 19.8. So the scoring, it's almost comical how much Brunson is like really carrying that offense. And Cat, look, we'll see what happens. Like this series, whether or not Indiana could stop Jalen Brunson is basically like the answer here. Yeah. If they could stop him, I think they have a real shot to win this series.
Oh yeah,
yeah. If they can, then it's going to be the Knicks in like 6 games, probably 5 or 6 games.
I think for the Pacers, it's like they don't want to. The Knicks don't want to go on an offense for offense type stuff with the Pacers because that's what the Pacers want. You want to go into a scoring shootout. We would love that because I don't think the Knicks could keep up because I'm looking at these past playoff run and I'm like, against the Pistons, the offense wasn't that good to me. It was Brunson reliant. Some games you would maybe have Mikal and OG play well. I think there was like one game I could point out to in this whole postseason run where I saw OG had it, Cat had it, Jalen was good. Everybody everybody was great. It was like one game out of this whole playoff run for the Knicks where I saw everybody was on point. But outside of that, it's really Brunson reliant and Cat sometimes. Like Cat will be good sometimes. He'll be just disappeared some games. And
then whenever you have one of the guys, whether it's either Mikal or OG hitting
or
threes.
Josh Hart, yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
If I'm the Knicks, look, control the pace of the series. Like don't play the run and gun like the Pacers want you to. Like slow it down. Like have somebody pick up full court on Haliburton the entire game.
Yeah.
Play McBride if you have to. If Bridges gets tired, like you got to really slow this series down. And look, if it's a fast series, like that's how. If you lose this, that's how you're going to lose it. Yeah. And I think the Knicks, they are more than likely to win this series because they just have so much more talent than the Pacers.
Yeah.
They just have more talent. They have more have more size. I know it's going to be an interesting series. Like this will be excellent hoops.
Yeah, I think it's going to be 7 games. I guess any predictions you guys have early on? Pacers, who you guys have? Well, I know Sai probably said Knicks in 6.
Yeah, I got Pacers in 7 for this one. I think it's going to be a close series, and like Brunson's going to have his games, and he's been like that like ever since he's been in the Knicks uniform. He's just kind of been carrying the load offensively. Yeah. Like it's just ultimately, and I think Cat's going to have his good games. Like I don't think he's going to have his bad games, which I'm for sure of. But it's ultimately, I don't think the Knicks haven't seen a team like the Pacers offensively at all because it's like, although the Celtics were kind of there, like the Pacers and the Celtics are completely different offensively for the simple fact that the Pacers don't simply rely on 3-pointers and the pace is much different and they have the guys to go and destroy them on the interior.
Yeah.
I guess Miles Turner isn't the greatest interior finisher, but you have the size there, and Pascal Siakam is going to eat you up inside out.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be a completely different matchup for the Knicks than it has been over these last 2 series, especially once you get it on a Pistons perspective, when the series went to 6 games and essentially every game was close. It's just that the Pacers have way more offense than the Pistons do. Way more.
Yeah,
way more, and it's it's just a matter of slowing the game down, and if Brunson has like Sipe said, if Brunson averages over 30 points per game this series, and you know what I'm saying, and Cat can average like a double-double, they'll win this series. Because I think OG and Mikal will have their games offensively. I don't think there will be like as well. Like they're not OG and Mikal aren't gonna be terrible all series. They're gonna have their games like they usually do.
And they'll have their defensive impact too on Tyrese Haliburton.
Yeah. Well, you think is Mikal? I think they're gonna say that Mikal's probably gonna guard him because OG is gonna be guarding Pascal. So it's gonna be Mikal and a mixture. Mikal maybe Hart.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I think there's gonna be a lot of switching this series though.
Yeah. And
big time.
My prediction, I think I would go Pacers in 6. I just think the offense is going to be too much for the Knicks because what I've seen from the Knicks, I just don't think as a team they could fully put up about the amount of points that the Pacers are about to put up as a unit. And I know they have the better talent, but the unit is definitely team basketball is a thing. And I think like the unit could overpower the talent. You know, when that saying hard work beats talent, when talent fails to work hard, like there's some situations where the talent loses because of the, you know, the synergy of the team and the connectivity, and they work hard. Like,
I mean, we just saw we just saw it with the Celtics. Like the Celtics had more talent than the Knicks, but they got completely destroyed because they just weren't. They just fell apart.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the Pacers were able to take advantage of that because they were supposed to lose. Don't forget, they were supposed to lose to the Cavs. They were supposed to get punched by the Cavs, and
this was supposed to be the Cavs' year.
Yeah, exactly. And they took care of the Cavs, who had size, who had Evan Mobley and Jared Allen.
A top defense in the league.
Who had a top defense. Yeah, DeAndre Hunt. They had these guys, and the Pacers took care of them because, I guess, the unit really overtook them. But I think Pacers in 6 because, like Rage was saying, the analytical basketball, they don't play what the Celtics do. They don't live or die by the 3. They have so much versatile scoring archetypes on their team. I think Halliburton's did a good job of, you know, creating the pace, and he's going to set the table. And then with the Pacers defensively, I just think with the Knicks, if you limit Brunson and kind of force these other guys, this is where Cat is the X factor to me. I think maybe Cat and Mikal, those 2 guys, if they're not showing me some type of offense, because I know with the Pacers, I'm going to get, you know, playoff Nembhard 15. I'm going to get Miles Turner 10. I'm going to get Pascal 18. I'm going to get Benedict Mathurin 10. TJ off the bench, I might get 10 from TJ McConnell. I might get a whole. So the Knicks gonna have to have guys step up outside of just Brunson and Cat. I need a little bit more. I need at least 2 more because the Pacers got 6 guys that are getting in double figures. So I'm gonna need a little bit more from the Knicks, and I haven't seen that during this playoff run. I didn't see it against the Celtics, except for maybe like 1 game. I didn't see it against the Pistons the whole series. Like, I didn't really see it. I saw Brunson making timely clutch buckets in the 4th quarter. I didn't see, I saw that. But as an offense, the offense wasn't that good to me. It wasn't.
No, it wasn't. And the thing is too, though, like ultimately with the Knicks side of it too, like ultimately, I think in terms of another X factor, like Mitchell Robinson's going to be very important again. He's going to need to be able to stay on the floor, and they're going to need that defense because it's ultimately. Outside of that, like, you don't have phenomenal interior defense in Cat, and like ultimately you're gonna need as many bench guys as you can to be able to take a load off of your starters, and especially Cat too, because you want to get the most out of him offensively. You don't want him in foul trouble.
Yeah.
So it's like ultimately, if Mitchell Robinson can stay on the floor as well, it's gonna be perfect for the Knicks because ultimately he was very, very key in that Celtics series. Like I said, I think he was the 2nd best player in that series.
Yeah, there's a chance he could punish in the paint because that's one of the Pacers' weaknesses is that paint. So if he's good this series, it'll be a bonus X factor for them too. It would.
Yeah, no, they're gonna need the help too. Yeah, especially like defensively, just in terms of like with the Pacers space in general.
Yeah,
like it's gonna be important, and they're gonna be hunting switches as well, like Cypher said. So.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at HoopsWorld0. Let us know your series prediction between the Pacers and the Knicks. Appreciate you guys so much. Hit that like button to support, and we'll be back.